That's one thing you almost realize. And I know that Father said, love your enemies and do good to them. Yes, of course, obey Father. But he didn't say put them on a pedestal. He didn't say, oh, well, they're better than you, because they're not. You got to listen at what Father said. He said, love your enemies. And, you know, I think he said, I know he said, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he's thirsty, give him, or something like that. If he's thirsty, give him something to drink, or if he's naked, or I don't know, something like that. Don't get me to trying to quote the scripture, but my point is this: you have to do what Father told you to do, nothing more, nothing less. He didn't say put them on a pedestal. He didn't say, well, treat them like a king, treat them like a queen, treat them like they are above you. Listen to what they have to say. Absorb their vomit. When they throw up on social media, absorb it. When they throw up to other people and other people bring you their vomit, take the bucket. No, Father didn't tell you that. So don't do that. Let that piece of filth, that speaking filth, keep that vomit to themselves. They ain't got to keep it in their mouth. They can spew it all over their cell phones, all over their computers. But that doesn't mean that you all have to allow it in your faces. And it doesn't mean you have to allow the smell in your presence. Can I talk about it? Because anybody that's been around vomit, I think vomit has a bad odor to it. It stinks. And that's what you're dealing with on social media a lot of times, or stinking things. Stinking people. Some of them literally, when they speak their filth and their vomit. So some people stink physically, and then they stink spiritually. So they got a bad combination all the way around. But, and I'm not speaking about anybody that has body odor. I'm speaking from the point of, that's what it is. That's what it is, that the people that speak against you are, look at them. A lot of them are they're poorly groomed, and they're haters. Even if they are well groomed, they are still haters, because there's nothing that they do to what they call taking care of themselves that the next person next to them can't do the same thing. It's not about the external, it's about the internal. And I don't care how flashy or how dressy people think they are on the outside. If the inside is rotten, they rotten. Just that's like a box of fecal, to put it nice. So I can't use a term that, you know, y'all know what it is. That's a box of fecal, figuratively speaking. But that's what they are in the spiritual realm. That's what they are as it pertains to their character and their substance. So anyway, whatever you, I don't know, I just felt the need to come back on for another word, because I know the devil's sick of my mouth. And you know me, hey, I don't want to say I'm petty, but I can get tit for tat, because I know the devil wants me to shut my mouth, and I'm not going to do it. And I know Satan probably feels like I'm doing a whole lot out here. Yeah, I am, and I'm going to do more in his face, in my enemies' faces, and any other living creature out there that stands in opposition of this here. And Satan might not like my positive attitude. Too bad, it's not going to change. Satan might not like the fact that I encourage others. Too bad, I'm not going to shut my mouth. So I don't care what Satan doesn't like. I don't care what his followers don't like either. It doesn't make me any difference. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to rain on my parade ever. And if you all trust in Jesus Christ, it's not going to rain on your parade either. It doesn't mean you won't be faced with storms and challenges. It just means it's already defeated. It means you go into a storm with the mentality, I already won this mess. See, it is your mindset that determines your outcome. A lot of people don't even know that. It's how you go into a storm that determines how you come out. And Satan hates people that are positive, especially people that are naturally positive, because he wants to prey on your flesh. He wants to, like, he feels like if he can spew enough vomit, if he can speak enough insults, that you'll come down off your throne. I don't know about you, my brothers and sisters out there, but I ain't never coming down off of mine, and that's not me boasting. That's me knowing who is on the throne, and that he has also set us up with himself in heavenly places. Can I talk about it? And so, you know, there are those of us out here, we don't need man-made approval to do anything, to say anything. And I know that's how people have been trained, and that's how they've been taught. Or if you want to do this, you got to go through their institutions. If you want to do this, you got to get that person's permission. Well, who gave them permission to do what they do? And then for the person that gave them permission, who gave them permission? And then for the person that gave them permission, they gave them permission, they gave them permission, who gave them permission? So meaning, who qualifies who? What one man is it down here that set the standard so high for himself that he could qualify somebody to do this, and then that person to do that, and then that person to get permission from that person to get permission from that person to get permission from that person. Are y'all following me? Like, who is the high standard? Who is on such a throne down here that we got to go to them to do anything for the Lord? That you got to go to them to do anything positive, even if you don't call yourself being a believer. You just might be a positive motivational speaker that ain't even saved. But regardless, you're doing something positive. God is still using you to do something positive, to shed some light in somebody's life. So whose permission do you need to do you? That's what I'm asking in this here conference. Whose permission do you need to do you? Nobody's but God. And that's why I do what I do. And maybe perhaps many of you out there do what you do, and I'm encouraging you to continue to do what you do. And I know the devil and his workers might say, well, who do you think you are? Well, I think I am whoever God made me to be. Who do you think you are? Not that I care. I'm not asking for an answer to whoever the naysayers are. I'm not asking for an answer because I don't care. Because one thing, anybody who knows me a little bit will know, I don't care about no naysayer. And I don't care about what they got to say either. I've always been like that. And I've always been a positive person. And even as far as for you all out there, if people are trying to point out some flaws or whatever, all you gotta do is point your finger at their entire being. They are a complete flaw. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. No, I don't have to nitpick. No naysayers. You are a complete flaw in your totality. Now, you know what? Hello. Can I get a witness out there? Can I get some witnesses out there that your enemies, they are a complete flaw in their totality? You don't have to nitpick this and nitpick that. They are nothing in their totality. And they are beneath you, and they will always be beneath you. That's why they're scrounging and clawing, because they're under your foot, spiritually speaking. You understand what I'm saying? And as far as character and as far as substance too, let's just keep it real. There's just some people that are just beneath you. And no, you don't need a PhD behind your name or whatever you call it, and you don't need this and I'm Sir this and I'm Sir that and I'm Madam this and I'm Madam that. No. For me, I'm just me. I would encourage you all, just be yourselves. You don't need their titles to know you are somebody. You were somebody when God created you. Can I get a witness? See, God is the one. Let me answer my own question that I asked you guys. God is the one that qualifies. He's the standard. So when I said, I wasn't expecting you guys to respond, but what I'm saying is, when I said who is the man that sets the standard down here for everybody to get permission to do this and do that and qualify to do this, and well, you got to go through this building and sit in this building X amount of years to speak about God. I don't have to do anything. I was talking to God when I was a child, and you mean to tell me I got to go in a building to talk about God as an adult? Let me discipline my tongue. People know what they can do. If they don't know, I'll be more than happy to tell them in a very nice way. You mean to tell me that a God that many of you knew as a child, humanity wants to set a standard, whereas you have to go get some type of certificate from humanity to talk about him? I know the devil is a liar. And that lie did come straight out of the pit of hell. I'm going to say what I want to say about my own Father, about my own Creator, and I don't care who don't like it. You ain't going to shut my mouth ever. Ever. And you guys, let me tell you guys something. Then I'm going to go and conclude this conference. But, a lot of times, don't no one person know everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't claim to know everything. I just share what I do know. I share what I am permitted to share with you all. So it will help you all out there, because I know there are people out there that they're struggling. And by that I mean, they're struggling with their self-esteem. A lot of them came up in horrific family environments. A lot of them were teased and picked on and mocked and put down and drugged through the mud, and people want to bring you down to size and this and that and the third. And the reason why it hit them in such a way is because they didn't have on the whole armor of God. But see, the thing about it, this is what the devils fail to realize about a sister like me. When I was yet in my sins, God had a coat of armor over me. Meaning, let me tell you guys something. The devil does not wait until you come to Jesus to attack you. He will attack you when you're out there in the world. Meaning, I'm not saying you're out there living a wild life, but I mean anybody. You could have just, like, if you were 4 years old, no, Bad example. If you were like 6 or 7 years old and you stole a grape, that's still out there in the